All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course, where about 250 people are watching. Let's see here. We're having trouble streaming to your destination. It is possible the stream was ended or deleted. This can also occur if the RTMP server URL or stream key is incorrect. We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved. Well, I really hope that I'm going live on Rumble then. There's a shit ton of people waiting. Let's hope so. My second nephew, it's a great morning. Good morning, Sticks. Well, at least here it's morning. We may have a little bit of a problem. Did I put something in wrong over on Rumble? I do not appear to be live there. Just a second here. Oh, for fuck's sake. Rumble was having problems earlier. I think people can see me on YouTube at the moment. Just a second. Christ on a stick. Monetized live stream. Yeah, we're not live, I think, on Rumble. I'm going to have to go back in and figure this shit out. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure where I'm supposed to do this. Can I... live streaming. Okay. Edit. Just a second, everyone. I'm trying to troubleshoot this live. Christ. Did I put this in wrong on StreamYard? I'm going to have to, I think, duck out of the studio in order to do this. Just a second. Or maybe I can I do it on here? Maybe? No? Ah, shit. Settings, audio recording, layouts. Layout. If I leave studio, just a second. I'm going to leave the studio. I have to edit this. All right, everyone, we should be live again, and I'm hoping that that solves the problem over on Rumble. So we're going to see if that's actually the case. Come on, Rumble. Show me the live stream. Please go live. It said it would try again repeatedly. We'll see if that actually works. Maybe I should refresh it. Let's reload the tab. Am I live? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Giga Mango Fanta, King of Pilk Dongs. Good morning from Spamtons in Buck-a-Break Breakfast. Get your order of Pilk Dongs for half off using code phrase "cucked of sleep by baby." Senor Faces, what is your favorite Tauhu Fumo? Mine will be you. I have no clue what that is. I don't even know what a Fumo plushie is, actually. Everyone keeps bringing it up, though. I guess they want Sticks plushies. I don't appear to be live still on Rumble. And I should be, because I just edited the thing. Can anyone see me on Rumble? Not live on Rumble. Drew McTighe, thoughts on Caesar's conquest of Gaul and Bellum Romanum? I don't have much of that as far as thoughts go. I'm Jesus. I don't know what I did wrong. Here, I'm going to leave the studio one more time here, and I'm going to see if I can do this without restarting the fucking stream. Just a sec. Please tell everyone in chat over on Rumble if you're watching both, or you can go over there. Please, please tell people that right now I'm not apparently live. I'm going to try to fix this. Just a sec. Okay, if that doesn't work, then unfortunately something is wrong, I think, on Rumble's end. And so I'm really, really hoping, considering there's almost 500 people watching there, I'm really hoping that that works. Oh, geez. Come on, Rumble. Don't let me down now. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Hamas and dead baby propaganda. Trump got the endorsement of Greg Abbott, official endorsement. Sam Altman joining Microsoft, actually. And so OpenAI basically is shit the bed. They kissed the baby. They had the radish. They bought the farm. And other things we'll talk about. But first, oh, for the love of Christ. Or do I have to edit it on this end? No, there's nothing there. Well, anyway, people are chatting over on Rumble. Again, my apologies to anyone over there. I mean, if you do send a super chat, I'll still shout it out. But I don't exactly know what's wrong. Jared Pierce, Rumble's lives have had issues since the DDoS attack started over Pavlovsky's statements on Media Matters. Yeah, they were having problems earlier, and so I guess I can't live stream on Rumble right now. In fact, before anyone actually sends me any money, I'll give a 1-minute warning here. Please do tell the chatters on Rumble that I'm going to end the live feed there, because apparently I can't actually live stream on the platform at the moment. And so I'll hopefully tomorrow it'll be back up, and then I'll end the live stream over there, because I don't want anyone to pay me who's not actually really getting a shout out or something like that. Because I've tried, and there's a fucking problem. Apparently the attack came from South Korea or thereabouts, or possibly China. It's probably some Chi-Com agent over there. So let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of the delete the video. Sorry, everyone over on Rumble. I guess today is a YouTube only stream. I'd add Twitter in, but again, I don't know if I can retroactively do that. So I guess I'm solo on YouTube for this one day. Giga Mango Fanta. The following program is brought to you by Tarl Tastes MREs. Tune in to see more delicious combos tasted and blessed by warmongers around the world. I've still got a Danish MRE and the last meal of the French MRE behind me. I will be eating that at some point when I have time. Simple Logic 90. If the Biden admin is nuts enough to go after gas furnaces for real, he can kiss 24 goodbye. The North is not a good place for heat pumps. John Diamond. After watching your new tech exclusives, I'm convinced you and Liz need to have more babies. The world needs more Hexenhammers. Jesus Christ. Coffee Slayer. Hey, Sticks, clank on, buddy. Coffee Slayer out. Yeah, I've got some clanks still going on from this morning over here. And then I've got additional caffeine. By the way, doesn't this look fucking great with the Plague Doctor shirt from Legio Gloria, the golden one, with this leather jacket? I've got to say, I think it looks good. Arrow sent 48 CHF, and I don't know what currency that is, but I thank you anyway. CHF, let me look that up. What's that from? CHF. Oh, Swiss francs. Okay, you're Swiss, I suppose. Thank you. Swiss money is worth more than most of the monies in the world. Keolis Rex 87 Sticks. Could you give my brother Ryan a Go Birds shout out? He bought me some biltong wagyu. It was delicious. Okay, his brother Ryan a Go Birds gets a shout out for buying some biltong from Anton's in Roanoke, Texas. Giga Mango Fanta. What meal is better out of order? Breakfast for lunch or dinner? Lunch for breakfast or other combos? Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I mean, leftovers for breakfast is fine, but I think breakfast for dinner is probably the best one, because you know that you have sausage and eggs and shit like that. By the way, my steak the other day, I overcooked it slightly. It was more medium than medium rare. I was repentant of that. It was still tasty, but it wasn't perfect. It was acceptable. Joe Hoffman, one to all. Hope all have a great day. Clank on. Jordan Coate, thoughts on Gnostic texts such as Secret Book of John. The Gnostic texts are pretty cool. Yeah, the Apocrypha and so forth. I've read, and I think it's not really, I don't think it's a Gnostic text, but the Book of Tobit. I did an edition of that. It's an interesting one. Yeah, no, to Hero Abel, I'd rather you do things well done like steak. Well done and not medium rare. No, my steak is medium rare when I cook it properly. I accidentally cooked it a little bit too long. It could have used like 10 seconds less on either side, and I think I know why. The ribeyes that they're now offering at the Jumbo are slightly thinner than the ones that they had before. And so I was using the old cooking time, but didn't really realize that. Marination was proper. It was perfect. Nice and marbly, nice and dripping with fat. Really good ribeye, actually, they have there. But it was a little bit thinner than before. And I think that that's because of effectively shrinkflation going on, food prices. Yes, Cat Madison, I am not currently live on Rumble because Rumble is not allowing me to live stream. They'd suffered an attack earlier, a DDoS attack, and so I have a feeling that that has something to do with it. So hopefully we'll be live tomorrow. I like going live on Rumble, you know, it's a good platform and good people there. The English Loyalist sent you a post on X about the army is begging for soldiers to return. Bro, we needed to play NTW together. My Danish army will make a Danish out of you. I'm very good at Napoleon Total War, whether it's the vanilla or the NTW3 mod. That would be fun. Yeah, I'd be willing to play a couple of rounds of NTW. As long as we can do Spanish Lakeside, because that's my favorite one, because it's almost counterintuitive how you have to defend in that one. Mark Guidetti, Porterhouse is greater than ribeye. New York strip is greater than ribeye. Yeah, maybe so, but I've never seen those available. And ribeye is good enough. I mean, it's fucking steak. Derek Baird, did you hear about the soldier getting charged $4K for equipment he was ordered to leave in Kabul? No, I didn't. You can always DM me with any bizarre news tips. I guess I can close out Rumble here because I'm not live there. Anyway, first news story. Now we're almost 15 minutes into the live stream. This fucking tech shit. It escapes me. Hamas officials and medics say Israel surrounding second Gaza hospital as babies from Al-Shifa reach Egypt. Now, can I submit something to everyone here for their consideration? Isn't this really a war of propaganda about dead babies at this point? Did you hear about the baby that got shoved into the oven? You know, that they talked about, that was, I think last month. And dead babies in Israel. You know, the Hamas had taken a bunch of babies and, you know, they're strangulating them with their own innards and stuff like that. Now babies are dying in Gaza. And I think we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing effectively babies being used by both sides as a form of propaganda. So basically like, oh, there's babies in the hospital, so Israel just bombed it because Hamas was ostensibly also operating there. And so they're evil. And we saw this as well from Israel initially. You know, here's pictures of a line of dead babies that we've decided to arrange like furniture and take a picture of to sway world opinion. I find this grotesque. I think that I think that Hamas and the IDF are grotesque ultimately. Normal, functioning, rational, sane, and moral individuals do not put babies in harm's way and/or photograph them for propaganda. They may talk about them. The U.S. is famous for this. So, you know, here's this story that basically alludes to the Huns or some group raping young women or something like that. Or putting babies on bayonets. The North Koreans have a lot of propaganda about that for some reason, and I doubt most of those tales. I don't think that U.S. GIs in North Korea generally bayoneted the babies, although there may have been incidents of that. Certainly there are war crimes in every war. Just look at fucking Vietnam and some of the shit that they did with napalm there. I choose to believe that generally speaking, non-maniacs don't try to slaughter babies. But that's what we've devolved into. With regards to the propaganda fight between Israel and Palestine, it's basically a war of the babies at this point. I just wanted to point that out, how bizarre and fundamentally interesting that is, that, you know, pictures of, you know, dead 1-year-olds is basically the news of the day. Here's today's wrap-up of all the small children that died. And I just find it grotesque. It's like, can't you people fucking find something else to do other than kill each other? Especially when it involves women and children and old people and shit like that, like the helpless. And then they claim it's the Holy Land. It's not the Holy Land. There's no God there. I guarantee you, if the Christian God exists, he ain't interested in the Levant region. He's had to turn his eye away from that sin long, long ago. Wow, Sticks Gaming stream when? Also, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. I would like to do that sort of thing. I just don't have the time. When you've got a small child, you don't really have time to do gaming anyway. Even if you're getting paid to play a video game, which is a pretty lucrative and pretty cool idea, how many hours of quiet am I able to have? Between the baby and the cat, probably not that many. Joe Hoffman, best way to amend soil. Any suggestions? Most soil is carbon poor. It's also biologically poor. I would suggest using just a standard compost. You can make it yourself. You can buy compost. It doesn't have to be like the fully organic shit. Doesn't really matter. Just pump compost into it and then add some carbon. You're going to need charcoal or you're going to need dehugelculture. For instance, in the Viking garden back in Rutland, about a foot under the soil, I've got a row of pieces of wood. Those are buried. And then others just randomly put in. And it's in a bed that's surrounded by natural wood, which will decompose over time and fall apart and go into the soil. That soil, the way I did it before, granular, gritty, it's like coffee grounds. It's perfect. And it's carbon rich, which means that plants will really thrive in it, and along with the bacteria necessary for them to thrive. Travis Damasio, I just got off of Army BCT on the 9th. What has happened since the 21st of August? By the way, only joined so I could fly heli. What platform is best? You mean video hosting platform? Well, I mean, normally I like Rumble for live streaming purposes, but right now I can't live stream there, so I'm only on YouTube at the moment. And lots has happened since the 21st of August. Milei got elected down in Argentina, which is very important since he's a slightly nutty libertarian. He's more libertarian than me in some ways, economically speaking. He's pledged that he's going to go forward with his plan to strip all of the government ministries of their positions as of the time he takes the oath of office that same day. We're going to see whether that happens, but if he does, it'll be an epic win. Of course, you got the proceedings of Indictment Gate. You've got Rosalind Carter died, and many other things. Just go back through my videos. You will see all of the news that you didn't know happened. Benici Hill, going to order the cookbook soon. Definitely more kids. More on the right side, aka the mentally hardy, need to have more kids. Yeah, I like it when white nationalists will be repulsed by me. But meanwhile, I've had a child, and many of them have not. And somehow that makes me problematic. Like when I suggest to them, hey, there's a solution to the problem that you perceive. Oh, no, Sticks. You're being unrealistic. No, genocide is the way to go. Mr. Repurpose, if I send the exact same super chat twice, will you not read the second as you will think you already read it? It depends on if I notice. Ice Pole, good luck tomorrow, Hirt. Yes, Hirt Wilders and PVV. We will be talking about that. Gigamango Fanta, war of propaganda from both of these thieving, violent factions aside, there should be no cap, a Team Fortress 2 mod for this absolute ghoul fest. Wouldn't it be fun if these people could just, hash it out in a video game? Like, you have a video game where your soldiers are each controlling a player and you determine who wins there instead of actually killing each other. And they'd have fun doing it. They wouldn't even care who wins. Aloha Snack Bar. Never stop pressuring people to get involved in their local community. That is the only way to stop the flood of Marxism. Check out Dr. Peterson's psychological review of Genesis. It is a bit long, but very informative. Thanks, Sticks, for all you do. America! Thank you very much for that. Yes, get involved in your local community and help some people that need it. And if you need help, hopefully, then there's reciprocity. Scarfy the Strange. There's going to be a lot of milings over there. Mr. Repurpose, if I send you the exact same super chat twice, will you not read the second as you will think you already read it? No, I already read the first one, but you paid me a second time, so I have to read it. It works for me. I mean, yeah, I've got an extra $5. Buy some diapers, some baby food, more energy drinks. Wow, can you make a gardening book for noobs? Would buy. I do want to do that in the future, yes. Let's see. Nashville Cat 66. Have you heard about the EV battery fiasco in Michigan? They need our help. No, I haven't. Again, you can always link me news stories via Twitter DM. If you want me to talk about things, I review all the news. Usually I get 20 or 30 messages a day for news tips. So I can't cover them all, but I do the best that I can to sort of go through them and figure out, okay, well, this one, 5 people tipped me off. Obviously, I'm going to cover it. This one is of personal interest, so I'll cover it. And that one is like, okay, maybe I hold it over or something, maybe for tomorrow. Gigamango Fanta. All the while, poor Johnny Greenblatt is fuming and fussing over opinions of Gen Zers, how they may actually question Zionist globalism. Lol. Yeah, Greenblatt's having a problem. The Grizzly, do you think that the neocon unipartyists will try to create a brokered convention in the highly likely event Trump is found triple guilty of insurrection? And how successful would that attempt be? All bets are off at that point. I'm almost hoping that the GOP is crazy enough to do that so the party fucking collapses, dies, and never exists again. Because the GOP is cancerous. The GOP is no better than the Democrats on ideological issues generally. There are some exceptions. You've got a Thomas Massey, you've got Rand Paul, you got Trump and a few others. Most of them fucking suck, though. Look at Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and so forth. They fucking suck. If you're not willing to win, then why is anyone even going to bother electing you? If the party does that, I will vote against them too. I'll still write in Trump. I would vote for, he's not my senator, so I can't vote for him. I'd vote for like a Rand Paul or something. But I'm not going to vote down ballot for the GOP. If they decide to torpedo themselves, let them commit suicide as a party. Let them completely destroy themselves. People will suffer so much under the resultant supermajority Democratic reign in the House, Senate, at the state level, and presidency, with Biden presumptively dying in office and Kamala becoming the first female president of the United States. They'll suffer so badly, some alternative party will rise up. And its party structure won't be run by a bunch of neocons. So basically, if Donald Trump is not the nominee, and then you have a fighting chance, fuck the GOP. Fuck the Republican Party up and down, side to side, inside and out, till their anus prolapses and their intestines are dangling on the ground like a garden hose. Garrett Shipmer here in Michigan just passed a law that bans people who committed a misdemeanor from owning firearms for 8 years. Yeah, good luck holding that one up in court. Next news story. Speaking of Trump, Trump receives endorsement from Texas Governor Greg Abbott at border as both Republicans outline hardline immigration agenda. Yeah, it's a hardline agenda. It's called actually having a border. Hey, if you come into the country illegally, we're going to detain you, process you, and turn you around and marry you on your fucking way. Almost like we've been doing at the border until fairly recently in U.S. history, whenever capable of doing so. The hardline agenda, finish building the wall. Oh my God, that's spooky. Actually I have border defense. And deport people. What's hardline about this? Every single president in other than Joe Biden, he took a soft line approach to that even when trying to be elected, or selected rather. Do you remember Obama on the border when he was running in 2008, or for re-election for that matter? He said the same things that fucking Donald Trump is saying, by and large, with regards to everything other than building an actual wall and then having Mexico pay for it, which is never going to happen, by the way. Increasing border defense, hiring more border patrols, deporting people who were illegally here, trying to increase the efficiency of legal immigration. Those were all Obama talking points. Left never had a problem with them. Trump is basically talking about that plus a coherent wall and increased deportations to compensate for the fact that there are tens of millions of people already illegally in the country. That's not a hardline immigration agenda. That's a common sense immigration agenda. It's the agenda that most countries in the world, by the way, already have. The endorsement, I think, doesn't matter much, though. And not to denigrate from it. I mean, it's good that he got Abbott's endorsement. It's good that Abbott is siding with, the right side. But I mean, Texas was already Trump country. He was already going to win by 30, 40 points. So I don't necessarily think that it's going to make a huge difference as far as voting intent. God, so many super chats, especially since, I'm not on Rumble. So people are filing over, I guess, from Rumble right now onto YouTube. LS420 Stoner, can I get a shout out for the CN Arsenal crew, Othias and May? They make some very good World War I weapons videos and discuss other historic firearms too. Sounds pretty cool. Soleil 333. Did you see Arizona's AG is supposedly threatening legal action for a county wanting to hand count ballots in 24? No, again, you can send me that news tip if you've got a link to that. I haven't heard of it. Vincent Todd, Putin beat the Nazis. Wait till the normies find out about the soccer ball. Wasted Bonehead, good morning from the grave. Doesn't appear you're live on Rumble. Yes, Rumble right now is having some technical difficulties in the wake of their DDoS attack this morning. And I'm assuming that that's the problem. I thought I put the settings in wrong. I tried to fix them, and it didn't work. So I'm assuming that Rumble right now doesn't have live streaming available, or, it's glitchy. RTZW, I started making a western town in Minecraft. Do you have any suggestions of stuff to put in it? I have a courthouse, a jail, and a small mine. Brothel, a bar. Yeah, make sure to populate that shit with some villagers and get them drunk. Senor faces. But think about the $11 an hour, no English required employers. Yeah, exactly. That's why they want them here, including the neocons, to be slaves, basically. It's just a literal wage slave, not even being paid the minimum wage usually. Now, in other news, Sam Altman has decided to leave OpenAI. They have collapsed effectively as a company. There are over 500 individuals, including, I believe, the CEO of OpenAI right now, threatening to leave and defect to Microsoft. OpenAI is not going to exist for very long if they don't really, really goddamn fix this problem. These individuals are saying, fire the entire board or we're leaving. Sam Altman has, originally they said that we'll leave if Sam Altman doesn't come back. Sam Altman decided not to come back and said, fuck you. And he decided to go and work for Microsoft. OpenAI is really fucked right now. Like, really fucked. As in, you're in danger of total bankruptcy and everyone will stop using your product and all of your talent will be gone and you won't even be able to administer your product at all because you won't have enough people to do so. Levels of fucked. Sam Altman was propping up the bar, basically. And now he's decided to defect to Microsoft, leaving OpenAI hemorrhaging support. I think some other people have already probably left by now. Now you've got an open letter from hundreds of additional employees saying that they intend to leave as well because they're loyal to Sam Altman. You know why this is weird? Because it's not even entirely clear why they canned Sam Altman to begin with. They said something about, well, he wasn't communicating well enough with the board. Okay, normally you don't fire someone that high profile over a topical disagreement. It's a bad decision because they've got people that are loyal to them and actually like them. Normally you try to talk to them like behind the scenes in private, say, hey, you haven't given the board a proper update on X, Y, and Z or something like that. That's normally what you did. What did he do? Did he decide to use his own product, his own AI to write letters to the board and they found out and they got pissed about it or something? It's not 100% clear exactly why they even let him go. And this is a young entrepreneur. I mean, he's barely older than me, I think. He's like, what is he? Is he fucking 38 or something like that? I think he's 38. He's only a few years older than me. What am I lacking in accomplishment? I wish I had that kind of money. But, I mean, he's practically a household name. He's a little bit like an AI version of Elon Musk. Why did you can him? They didn't even explain this to people, and they're wondering why all their employees are threatening to leave. By the way, if that group of some hundreds of employees leaves, it's going to take too long to train and implement new people for them to even keep the company going, I think. I think they will literally collapse and die as a company, as in stop existing. They won't have enough support in order to keep maintaining the product. and they won't have a lot of time to appease their customers. Then the investors will start fleeing too. They'll say, oh shit, all of the talented people that built this great product have decided to work for Microsoft. Well, I guess we're investing in Microsoft again. Microsoft, I guess at this point, they're going to make their money off of AI instead of their increasingly shitty operating systems. So wait until they plug that in, by the way, with their next operating system, so that you can't avoid the fact that your computer is spying on you constantly. And boomers will actually buy the product. I myself am looking into Linux, actually. Had a bunch of people who can help me actually set it up so that I don't fuck myself in the ass. I don't do what Bill Gates likes to do, voluntarily. Not a banned account. How can USA cops legally put foot in front doorway when you answer the door and charge you with assaulting a policeman when you try to shut it? Well, shutting a door on someone's foot, I guess, loosely it would be assault. Are you talking about if they have a warrant? Or, not 100% sure what you mean. Lev Polyakov. Good morning, Stick. Sent you a Hassan Piker versus the West on XDM. Creole speak time. You can see the animation on breaktherules.tv. Yes, I'll be looking at that later, I believe. I didn't have time last night, though. Virgil Walker. Do you think we'll see other South American countries go the same way as Argentina? If they are particularly successful at reform, other people will follow suit because they'll see it's possible. You can bring your country back from the brink of deepest, impoverished, socialistic tyranny successfully. So I'm rooting for Javier Milei. I'm rooting for him to succeed. Doc Holliday, Joe picking boogers and pointing at them. Oh. Wasted bonehead, AI is the next Wunderwaffe. The government ain't letting you have that shit. Yes, they've preemptively tried to regulate it for a reason. TSUA. Perhaps the entire board was persuaded to fire Altman within a day by weapons-grade LLMs. Okay. Next news story. Here in the Netherlands, I normally do not weigh in on Dutch politics. I'm a guest in the country, technically speaking. I'm a resident, but I'm not a citizen of Europe, and so I am reluctant generally to talk about Dutch politics because I don't feel it's appropriate for me to have a strong opinion. Were I a citizen of the Netherlands, I would probably support Geert Wilders. And so there's good news for my political persuasion that would be game changer. Geert Wilders' populist anti-mass migration party surges to top place in Dutch general election poll. This would be really hammering the lame stream, by the way. See, Geert Wilders is fucking prime minister, potentially. The last election, the by-election, saw Mark Rutte retire, Sigrid Kaag dropped off, and she's exited politics. Although I think both of them are seeking globalist positions, which is telling. So they're gone as the heads of their party and Rutte's prime minister. The biggest party represented in the legislative body became a single-issue tractor party that was effectively just dedicated to telling the government to fuck off and leave the farms alone. Now Geert Wilders, who has been a thorn in the side, for those that don't know Dutch politics, it's been a thorn in the side of the establishment for a long time. And he's fairly well-spoken. He's fairly well-received. He's got a fairly broad coalition. I don't see him as, a bad person. He's not bigoted or something. I know they cast him off as being bigoted. And this part of the country, by the way, I think is the furthest left, other than Amsterdam. So, you actually see like Antifa stickers here and stuff. They also don't seem to like the tractor party much. Occasionally, you see trans pride stickers too. Stickering is very common in the Netherlands. Depending on where you go, you'll see different shit. Anyway, his party has now surged ostensibly to first place. Should that happen, and should a coalition be built with presumptively the tractor people and a few other groups, Geert Wilders might be running the Netherlands soon. I think that would probably be the best thing for the country, tightening things up. The Netherlands does have a problem with crime originating from certain groups of people. I got to be a little bit careful what I say here because of Dutch law with regards to discriminatory language, because when in Rome, you have to do as the Romans do. So I have to be a little bit careful. There are certain groups of people that are associated with certain types of crime at a disproportionate rate. This is also true in the United States, my home country, and many other places in the world. In normal cultures, you acknowledge that fact and you try to address it. In decadent woke cultures, you ignore that fact or you call someone a bigot for noticing it, which is the wrong thing to do. It doesn't work very well. You see this in like Flint, Michigan, and places like that. Detroit, New York City, Chicago at this point, and parts of California. Here, Wilders, I think, would be a good leader for the country. I realize that some people are, well, he's like Javier Milei and he's Zionistic or something like that. Okay. Again, if you want to constrain government, let people keep their money, let them defend themselves, let people speak freely, let them express themselves, let them have the freedom of conscience and so forth. I just don't give a fuck. The same is true of Milei. The same is true of Donald Trump. I just don't give a shit. He ticks most of the boxes that I need him to tick, and so I don't give a fuck. As far as the Netherlands, I'm not going to give any official endorsement in this particular race. I'm just going to say that if Geert Wilders ends up prime minister, or if his party at least takes the fore, I think it is a good thing. I think it would be positive for the Netherlands. But it's not mine to endorse anyone because I'm not Dutch. So we'll leave it at that. I try to have respect for my host culture. Most people don't. Most people shit on the doorstep, so to speak. Speaking of doorsteps, not a banned account. USA cops may currently doorstop without a warrant. I believe if there is no warrant, you do not have to open the door, however. I mean, they can barge their way in. They might get in trouble for doing so, though, depending on your color of skin. Wow, not financial advice. Rumble stock at $5.10. Buy low. Yeah, I'm still thinking about the possibility of buying some Rumble stock. I don't know. I'd rather play the commodity market. You know, invest in lithium would be a big thing right now. Again, not financial advice, but if I had $1 million to invest in the commodity market, lithium would definitely be on the portfolio. Mick Adams, are you aware of Lou Valentino's channel? He talked with a J6 prisoner still awaiting trial from the Gulag today. Was great info and on the ground POV. Worth checking out. No, I wasn't aware of his channel. That sounds interesting. Lou Valentino. Catchy handle. Finally caught you live. Gratitude for your work. Thank you very much. I wish I was live on Rumble as well, but decided to fuck itself. So we'll see about tomorrow. Next news story. We've been speaking about Milei anyway. Cry no more for Argentina. It's about to be a new model for economic reform from the New York Post. Of course, they lean towards the free marketeering sort of pro-capitalist side of politics, except when it deals with Donald Trump. Sometimes it's fair and balanced in the sense that it's unbalanced in all directions. That's the New York Post in a nutshell. Buenos Aires. Argentina is an 11-hour flight and 2 time zones away from New York. So the news, it just elected a radical free market economics professor named Javier Milei as its new president may not resonate with many Americans. Yeah, I mean, consider this. The Peronist sort of socialist side of politics has run Argentina for several generations. It's been a very long time since there was any form of real representation for any outside view. In that time period, Argentina went from one of the largest economies in the Western Hemisphere, and indeed a top 15 economy in the world, to basically a backwater. Why? It's not because of a lack of resources. They've got plenty of those, a lot of arable land, decent climate, a lot of minerals and so forth. You've got a relatively literate population. You have a relatively large land area, so high manpower, et cetera, high output. You've got a good coastal free, you're not landlocked or anything like that. A tourist's haven, potentially, if you market it properly. You've got pretty much every advantage you can actually get, other than maybe Pacific frontage. You know, if they invaded and took over Chile and formed one nation on paper or something, it'd be a superpower probably. If they'd done that years ago. Otherwise, you've got every advantage. If effectively it was a developed country. It slipped backwards into a kind of developed country. Why? Because of the cancer of socialism. They have tumors. Well, you need surgery, and Milei is nuts, and he's the surgeon, and hopefully his instruments don't slip too much. You might remove a couple of vestigial organs here or there while you're removing the cancerous tumor that is communism from the country. But that is basically their problem. There's no problem other than socialism in Argentina. The resources are there. The literacy is there. The infrastructure is there. Why are you having problems? You should be a first world nation, not a kind of developed nation. It's a sort of like a marginal, like a second world nation, like in India or something like that. There's no reason for it. I praise the Argentinian people for having the wisdom to elect this dude. Hopefully they kick all the socialists out of their fucking Congress next. That would be great. It would be wonderful. By the way, Milei is generally pro-Western. There are some views that he has that I'm not in league with. For instance, he believes in banning all abortions. I'm not in line with that. I believe it should be legal through the first trimester with other exceptions as well, and I'm unrepentant about that fact. But if he wants to arm the public and he wants to destroy the government ministries that bureaucratically harass people, and he wants to abandon a failing currency in favor of simply pegging to the dollar directly, et cetera, I can't really find much that's a problem about this dude. I think he's of an unimpeachable character if he follows through with what he's saying. Now, again, his chainsaws and shove the state up your ass thing may dissipate once he actually is sworn into office. He might half-ass it and be a mild reformer, like a populist reformer, a mild stuff. That's possible. Number one, it's still better than the alternative, which is literal socialism. You know, Peronism is just socialism. That would be number one. And number two, it would still help. And an attempt would have been made. It's better than any alternative that you've been offered in Argentina for 60 years or thereabouts, 60 or 70. It's been a while. Most people in Argentina can't remember a time that their nation wasn't under socialism, which is why by the 80s, their economy was beginning to slump. That's the whole point. Even a mild reformer is better than fucking socialism. Ultimately, though, I think he might actually be pretty serious about this, and actually he's going to try to follow through. He's going to need to form a coalition, though, so that will inevitably stymie some of his plans. So we're going to remain hopeful about his general platform. Wow, Argentinian meat chefs are the best. Argentina GA. Yeah, there's an Argentine steakhouse here, actually, in Enschede. Scarfy the Strange. So, the guy with this chainsaw is the surgeon? Yep. Yeah, prepare your anus, boys. Things are going to get messy. But at least the tumor will be gone. It might bleed out in the process. Again, I would warn people with Milei there, if he does go all in, you're going to have a tough time for at least a few years. Your economy is going to have to completely rebalance. It's going to take a lot of readjustment. In the meantime, things will probably get worse, not better. They then pick up later on. You need radiotherapy. You need chemo right now. You need to literally drink poison in order to get rid of the cancer of socialism that has infested your system for so long. You know, you see somebody, they get diagnosed with cancer. They look otherwise generally healthy. They go into chemo, they are all fucked up. Their hair falls out, they're all pale, they're all emaciated and fucked up, but they survive. The chemo works, the cancer, hopefully, it's always the hope, the cancer's gone, and then they come out, and then sometime later, they look like a brand new person. Well, they were poisoning themselves, or they were getting dosed with radiation or something like that. We need to irradiate the cancer of socialism in more ways than one. Sometimes, you know, I just think about the Davy Crockett device and how cool it was, you know? Just saying. Not a banned account. When will U.S. wages catch up with the 23% inflation? Unfortunately, never. A slice of wealth has been permanently lost from the U.S. economy to be forever ceded to the government, unless we have drastic chemotherapy in the U.S. A little bit throaty for some reason. Maybe I'm coming down with something. Got problems. Speaking of people with problems, we got to talk about Joe Biden. Biden uses Cold War law to nuke your gas furnace. Yes, Joe Biden has used the Defense Production Act to try to artificially exclude normal gas furnaces from the supply line in order to make heat pumps and things like that. I'll list some of this explicitly. Wartime powers, electric heaters, one of those things is not like the other. According to Joe, they are, unless there are millions of dollars to throw around to your cronies while putting their competitors out of business. Obama did this too, by the way. And sure enough, Biden will dole out 169 million of your tax dollars to boost the production of electric heat pumps. What gives Biden the authority to throw money around like a drunken Congress to further an environmental agenda the House rejected back in June? A 1950 law called the Defense Production Act was meant to protect and promote the production of war materials. Biden is using it to make heat pumps. Now, this is prefaced on the idea that a lot of gas comes from Russia, so we've got to, blindside them. That's not really what the DPA was meant to be used for. I talked about the Defense Production Act like fucking last week, and how Biden has invoked it more often than all of the other recent presidents combined. He's trying to go imperial presidency mode. That's a term you may remember from the Bush administration that for some reason is never applied by the legacy media to the Biden admin. That's the Victoria's Secret lace camisole of flimsy excuses, and the White House knows it. The administration announced the move during a weekly Friday news dump to slip it under the radar. The money comes from a presidential slush fund authorized by the Democrats' $1 trillion Inflation Reduction Act. That did not reduce inflation, which the Competitive Enterprise Institute's Ben Lieberman called the absolutely shameful corporate welfare. Yes, you're going to end up with subsidized heat pumps as a result of trying to take care of national defense. Again, no reasonable, rational person would connect these two things. The idea is climate change is a big thing. We're all going to die. Russia has a lot of natural gas. I wonder if that has more to do with it. But I think he's prefacing it partially on climate change. That's very, very funny. So yeah, you're in a northern climate. You're going to get an electric heating system. Because if your furnace decides to fuck itself in the ass, you're not going to be able to get a new one that isn't onerously expensive because the efficiency standards have been raised to a point that most companies are not capable of attaining. That's basically the point. It is a grift. It's throwing money at the corporate groups that donate to Biden and donate to the Democrats. We've seen this before. Giga Mango Fanta. Hello, Soyam. I hail from the Holy Land and must protest your presence here on YouTube, for it is anti-Semitic and bads. Please pledge your tithes to Is It Real, or I make big green blot hit piece. Snark, snark. All right. Not a band account. If Jesus is a lie, where did demons come from? I think that demons are pagan entities, and they are otherworldly, extra-dimensional, or whatever the fuck you want to label it. They don't quite exist in the same reality that you and I are currently physically in. I've seen one before. I know them to exist, or at least that one particular entity. I can't vouch for the others. I've never seen Asmodeus, never seen Mammon or anything like that, but I've seen Stolas physically with my waking eyes. I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't on drugs or anything like that. I don't know everything about this entity. I just know that this entity, for some bizarre reason, wants to work with me, and I find it lucrative and fun. So I work with a demon. Isn't that cool, by the way? Anyway, I think I'm going to go offline a little bit early again. It's not the same when I can't double stream here. And Rumble's having Rumble's having a stroke, I suppose. Probably the same as Joe Biden. Rumble is acting like Joe Biden at the moment, and it pisses me off because I like the site. So I'm going to hope that tomorrow the problem is fixed. I might as well go offline now. And don't worry, we'll go live regardless. Even if Rumble decides to screw up again tomorrow, I'll still go live on YouTube. It's just I really like double streaming because I think roughly half of my active audience doesn't tune in on YouTube. There's some of you that are tuning in right now, like you're reluctant to do so because mainly you watch me on Rumble. By the way, please no more super chats. Thank you, Wah. Last minute super chat. Take the shekels. I actually have some shekels from back in the 70s or something like that from Israel. I have a coin collection, a big one. I have a shit ton of coins, and I love them. One time, funny story before I leave. One time when I was like, how fucking old was I? I would have been like 10 or something like that. I was waiting around in a stream around a little school, like a mini field trip. We just sort of went out into the woods and, bobbled around the stream. I found an Australian penny from like the 1930s. One of those big ass coins. It's like this big around. Oh, sorry, Jonathan Greenblatt. I know that you'll be offended by that. Huge coin. And I have no clue how it got there. And it was in perfect condition too. It was like almost, not mint, but it was tarnished, but no other defects on it at all. And I'm wondering how an Australian 1930s penny got into this stream in the middle of nowhere in Vermont, in a tributary of the Connecticut River. I don't think that I'll ever know. I'm assuming some old eccentric Australian retired there and just tossed it in the river for good luck or something. I happened to find it. Wasted Bonehead, YouTube is hamstringing my super chats, and screw autocorrect, it's miserable. I agree with that. Anyway, I'm going to go offline. Hopefully tomorrow I will be live on Rumble as well. And not that I have any problem with my YouTube audience. I do appreciate you all tuning in, but YouTube crimps my style a little bit. And I like to multi-stream because a little bit faster chat on both sides there. I have no clue what happened with Rumble. Keep donating. Sticks will keep streaming, says Wah. Nope, I won't. That's about all. Peace out.